If there was an Olympics for being wrong, I think most PlayStation fans would win the gold every single time. They take the L nonstop. For one thing, I think it's very interesting that everybody still lives as if it's 2006 when it comes to video game consoles and just gaming in general. The fact that people out there believe that, hey, Microsoft needs to sell as many PlayStations as Sony does, really tells you all you need to know, because the fact of the matter is, and I've gone over this numerous times, that's not the case, right? Like, Microsoft pivoted to where they could be successful regardless of how many consoles they sell. Obviously, you want to sell. There's a difference between needing and wanting, right? If this was 2006 and Xbox games were only on Xbox and they were selling, not as much as PlayStation or in that area, then it would be a problem. But the fact of the matter is, Xbox is, whatever they want it to be, which is basically a console, a PC, a mobile, cloud. It's everything, basically. So, sometimes there's going to be various points. Like at the start of a new console generation, probably will be a stronger point where mobile and PC will pick up slack. Later on in the generation, it'll probably be where a console picks up the slack. But so many people just underestimate what Microsoft does or think Microsoft has to do this, or this. And now we have a little bit more information on why not only Blade will end up exclusive, but why Indiana Jones end up exclusive as well. Thanks to this, Disney's gaming boss has discussed a decision to make Bethesda's Indiana Jones game an Xbox console exclusive. While the untitled game was originally set to come to PlayStation 2, it was recently confirmed that it will be Xbox and PC exclusive and a day one release on Game Pass. In terms of Disney's agreement with Bethesda, were renegotiated after Microsoft acquired the studio's parent company, ZeniMax Media, for $7.5 billion. Way back in 2021. Now, Disney's head of gaming, Sean Shoptaw, told Axios, with Xbox still being one of the bigger marketplaces for games, we didn't feel like we were going to be overly exclusionary. We felt like it's still going to reach a broad set of folks, and we felt financially and strategically for the game, it makes sense at the time. Now, this game was announced way back in January of 2021. Indiana Jones, in development at Machine Games, the studio behind the modern Wolfenstein games. Bethesda game director Todd Howard, who was serving as executive producer on the game and whose favorite film is Raiders of the Lost Ark, said of his genre last year, and I quote, "I would just like to say it's a mashup. It is unique. It isn't one thing intentionally, so it does a lot of different things." The head of Disney-owned Marvel Games has previously claimed that Xbox turned down an opportunity to make licensed game shortly before Sony struck a deal to make Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. Sony-owned Insomniac Games has now made 3 Spider-Man games, including spin-off Miles Morales, the most recent Spider-Man 2 game, as well. The Japanese company said it's investigating reports that Insomniac Games has been the victim of a cyber attack after a ransomware group threatened to release allegedly stolen data, including details about the studio's upcoming Wolverine game. Now, like I said, so you have like the head of Disney Gaming talking about this. Clearly, we're in a situation where Microsoft is kind of in the driver's seat with this stuff. People go, oh, well, the game's probably not going to sell well. They're going to get paid regardless. I mean, when you get a license from a company, they're usually getting some kind of flat fee for that. Basically is how it goes, right? No matter what it is. Like if you look at, let's say, a toy line, right? So let's say that a toy line wanted to do, what's a movie that, Men in Black. We'll just use that for instance. So let's say a toy line wanted to do a Men in Black action figure line. And so they're going to go to Sony Pictures and go, we'll give you, $50 million to use the Men in Black figure characters and likeness for this toy line. That's it, right? So they and that's just like a hypothetical, mind you. But that's just how this kind of stuff works. So they would give them, $50 million and would have the rights to do the toys. And then obviously once you make back that $50 million, you start actually making your money or whatever. So basically this is how this works with gaming as well. Disney it makes their money regardless of how many sales this game is going to have or whatever. And, the game will likely seems like it's going to probably do pretty well. Listen, I don't think when you look at things and you go, okay, well, Sony got Spider-Man and Wolverine. Microsoft got Indiana Jones and Blade. I think there's a little bit of a difference there. I'm not saying like necessarily, I guess, upper tier or lower tier or whatever, but I don't think anybody's really doing much with Indiana Jones. When it comes to Blade, there's been some Blade games in the past. I think I still have one on like PS2 or something, but I don't think that was like a franchise that was realistically some kind of amazing thing that was going to like kind of rebirth the world or anything. But the game is going to still be available to such a huge variety of people, Xbox people, obviously PC people, probably anybody who wants to do any kind of cloud gaming, things like that. So I think that's sort of what you take in this instance. Now, what's going to come after that, I don't really know. Supposedly, maybe there might be one more that is going to end up being exclusive to Xbox or whatever. But it still is one of those things that kind of just reminds me of kind of why Microsoft is in the spot that they're at, because nobody was asking, as far as I could tell, nobody was saying, hey, why does Sony get Spider-Man 2 exclusively, or why does Wolverine skip Xbox, or why did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 not go anywhere else, right? Like, clearly, and I heard like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 didn't exactly sell great on the Switch. I mean, there's a large install base, but it didn't sell great because that's, the thing is people are really ignorant on how licenses and things like that work for these things. So for me personally, when I see people kind of question it or go, oh, well, this game's going to flop or whatever, I mean, this game could end up with 25 million players when it's all said and done. If it's a good game, if they do a good job with it, like, the sky's the limit in terms of kind of what they can do, like, in the long run. So, I think Microsoft's definitely, this is one of those situations of them getting kind of the short end of the stick, so to speak. But I would love to see, Microsoft actually get some positive press for a change in terms of what they can kind of accomplish long term with this stuff. So, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, though. What do you think? Obviously, Microsoft can make games exclusive. They're not losing out on anything. Developers aren't missing out on anything. They're compensated regardless. I would just like to hear everybody else's thoughts on this, though. It's just one of those things where clearly we all kind of have our own thought and perspective on this type of thing. So I'm just kind of curious about it. So where do you stand with this? Do you think Microsoft is in the right? I mean, if Sony's making games exclusive, doesn't that give Microsoft the right to do the exact same thing? I don't know why so many people are criticizing Xbox over this stuff, but I would love the thought process and love your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews. We'll rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.